Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled 4 Reasons Why I Married My Cheating Wife. Smack, smack, smack. And guys, this whole story is about a guy, exactly as the title says, that he finds out that 1 week before he and the fiancée were going to get married, that she cheated on him. And yet still, he's marrying her anyway. And guys, this is a perfect example of why I do what I do. This is why I'm here every day and sometimes twice a day putting out videos, breaking down articles, stories, personal stories that you guys email me about, and add my 2 cents and basically add a dose of reality to these situations to help guys out. So that if you ever find yourselves in a situation like this dude, you make the right choice. Because this guy here clearly did not. And you're going to see here that this guy is the classic nice guy. And when I say nice guy, let me just reiterate, it's not like a lot of guys think when the term nice guy is said, it means just like a friendly guy, a good guy. No, I'm talking about the woman's definition of a nice guy. A guy that they see as obviously nice, but obviously a guy that's easy, a pushover, a doormat, weak, that type of guy, boring. You know, someone who they can take advantage of. Those are the type of guys that women, when they're single, they keep these guys in the friend zone, and they're their male orbiters, if you will. And they're the guys they cry to when the guy they're hooking up with dumps them or doesn't call them. They're the guys that, at the drop of a hat, would go out with them and take them out and buy them drinks and buy them dinner and go shopping with them in the hopes that they can win her over, when the guy that doesn't do any of that bullshit is the guy that's fucking her. These are the type of guys also that they eventually settle down with and married when they realize that the guys they really wanted, the bad boys, aren't ever going to settle. Okay? Also, these are the guys when they realize that when, let's just say they get to about 30 years old, they spent their 20s riding the carousel and focusing on being career women. Another fucking siren. You guys must think I live in the hood or something. I'm actually in a very nice area, but it seems whenever I do videos, that's when these ambulances, police cars, or fire trucks are going by. Anyhow, excuse me. So anyhow, those are the type of guys that these women go for, okay? And you're going to see here, obviously this guy is that type of guy, and I'll point these things out why I say he's definitely a nice guy, because of the things he does and the decisions he makes. And I don't want you guys to be in a situation, if this God forbid ever happens to you, that you don't make the wrong decisions that he did, and also do the things that he does, which obviously gets him put in that category as the nice guy and be taken advantage of. Because let me tell you something here, I've told you before, the way a man can love a woman and the way a woman can love a man is not the same, okay? It's very, very different. And women, their definition of love is not the same. That guy has better have a job. That guy better provide. That guy better put her in her place and keep her feminine and all that. Because if the guy starts, he loses his job, he loses his income, he loses his status, that love is going bye-bye real quick. Okay, and there's a lot of other factors there, but let's be honest, we're keeping it real here. So I'm going to go through this guy. Well, anyhow, I was going to say is, but if a woman is in love with a guy, like head over heels in love with him, she's not going to cheat on him before the wedding. Trust me on this. Okay, and this woman obviously not in love with this dude. So, long intro, guys, but I had to say what I had to say here. So I'm going to go right into it. Starts off, I had my reasons, not sure if they were good, but they were mine. A tear slipped down the side of my cheek. A tear as I watched my beautiful fiancée walk toward me, adorned in white and escorted by her father. Family and friends watched as every step brought her closer to me. Yeah, she shouldn't have been wearing white that day. She'd be wearing a gown that's more black than my jacket here. My heart sensed it, and it started to claw. It clawed up my chest, through the ribcage bars, locking into place. Its scream muffled by orchestration and the pop hiss of camera flashes. You can just tell this guy's just begging to be cheated on the way he writes this little story here. And then he was getting a tear with her walking down the aisle, even though she just cheated on him a week before. My heart pounded, banging against fleshy walls. I didn't listen. I wanted to, but I'd come this far. I was about to marry the woman I caught cheating on me a week earlier. Smack. A tear slipped down the side of my cheek. Yeah, we've been through that, dude. He says here, on the subject of money, discovering my fiancé's infidelity a week before the wedding caused a tectonic shift in the foundation of our relationship. I stood there, unsure what to do, as the life we built crumbled all around me. Emotionally numb, I couldn't move as walls shook and ceilings fell. I needed to think. I needed to get away, to clear my head and wait for the dust to settle. But I had 1 week. Ideally, I would have postponed the thing. Push it back to a different date. Why didn't I? Money played a big part. Push it back to a different date, dude. She was hooking up with some dude a week before the wedding. Probably on her bachelorette party or something close to that. And I guarantee you, I don't know how he found out. He doesn't explain how he found out. But the point is he did find out. And that was actually a good thing, giving him the opportunity to handle it accordingly. You don't marry her. She's cheating on you 1 week before your wedding. I mean, only guys that are just completely weak and clueless, brainwashed nice guys would allow this type of crap. And I'm sure she just gave him the waterworks and all this other stuff that she was scared and blah, blah, blah. And this is the crap you see in movies where, yeah, I've seen movies where like a woman cheats on the guy before they're going to get married or they're engaged, and she gives him the waterworks and he's going to be the bigger man and forgive her. What do you think she's going to do again? You think she's going to respect the guy, know that she cheated on him 1 week before the wedding, and he's still going to marry her anyway? Do you think she's going to see him in the same way? See him in a positive light? That's going to make her more attracted to him? Like, oh, he's such a wonderful man. No way. She's going to lose more respect for him. She already had no respect for him anyway because she's cheating on him, and obviously she was settling for this dude, the classic nice guy to settle down with, to get the house and the kids and out in the country and all that shit. She's not in love with him, doesn't respect him. It's going to be even worse. And she'll probably cheat again. He says here, that money played a big part of this. I paid for most everything myself. Outside of flowers and her dress, most of the financial backing came from my bank accounts. And you can't just call a week out and ask for your deposits back. Bullshit. Call me crazy, but doesn't tradition have it that the bride's family pays for the wedding? But this dude's paying for it all. And believe me, this guy's going to be paying a hell of a lot more in a few years when she cheats on him or decides to up and divorce him. Because obviously, if this guy's paying for this wedding outright, he's obviously got money saved up. Hard-earned money he's spending on this stupid wedding, this party for her. And she cheated on him a week before. She's going to get a ton of his money when this marriage eventually comes crumbling down. Guaranteed. So it's better for him to bail, lose some of the deposit money, and move on. But he's going to go through this anyway and lose even more down the road. Again, this is why I do what I do, guys. This is why it's important that guys understand this stuff so they don't get caught in a situation. And I can guarantee you this guy doesn't have any men in his life, strong male role models to give him a talking to and him to look up to growing up. Probably the men in his life, probably his dad, his uncle, grandpa, whatever. They were probably weaker guys too. It's a shame. He says here, I wanted more time, but I also didn't want to pay for a second wedding. One is expensive enough. So the previously scheduled wedding event continued as planned. Dude, you're an idiot. Of all the reasons why I moved forward with the wedding, this is the one I learned from the most. Love and money should not be handcuffed together. I hinged my entire future on not wanting to impact my bank account's bottom line. Yeah, your bank account's bottom line is going to be going bye-bye now that you're married to her, because it's not going to work out. It's a mistake I'll never make again. He says, thinking of others. During my early grade school years, my dad went on a mission trip to Jamaica to help build a wall around a local church and school. Between tropical storms and theft, not having a well-built wall left both facilities ripe for the picking. In subsequent years, several members of the Jamaican church and school came to visit. One in particular left his mark on a 10-year-old me. A joyous man with a rounded belly and a contagious laugh is exactly what you'd picture when thinking of a 40-year-old Jamaican Santa Claus. This is obviously a minister of the church. He played soccer with me. He came to my baseball games, cheering on loudly despite having no clue as to what was going on. I instantly fell in love with that man. I knew whenever I decided to tie the knot, I'd have him, a minister in the Jamaican church, come and officiate the ceremony. So his dad was a missionary, and they were helping doing mission work and all that in Jamaica. And again, that's a very nice thing to do, but these people tend to be bleeding hearts, okay? And people that are bleeding hearts tend to let a lot of shit go, okay? Not saying always, but they tend to. He goes, so after I proposed, I connected with him and made arrangements to bring him up. Could I tell him a week out his services were no longer needed? To yes, come on up, but that I need him to possibly come back 6 months later. You could tell him that it didn't work out. Okay, if you were close to the guy, you can say exactly what happened, that she cheated on you, this is not the woman you thought she was, and that you don't want to make this big mistake, and I know it's the last minute, but I can't do this to my own life. And obviously, because this guy was obviously paying for him to go up, that's what you do. Nice guys also, I might add, always put everybody else before them. Nice guys put their needs last. Guys, don't do that. Put your needs and wants first, okay? That doesn't mean you have to be harmful to everybody, but you got to do what's best for you, okay? Because otherwise, people will walk all over you. If you don't believe me, just keep doing that. If that's what you are like, put everybody else's needs ahead of yours. Let me know in 10 years how happy you are, okay? Come back and talk to me then. Send me an email then. Let me know how you've been, how 10 years of putting everybody else's needs ahead of your own first makes you feel, and how that's worked out for your life if you think I'm full of shit, okay? I had to learn this, okay? I learned earlier on, but not right away when I was younger, and believe me, I'm happier for it. But it's very hard for guys that are molded to be this type of way. Anyway, dropping everything and flying to the United States, even with someone else fronting the bill, isn't the easiest thing to do. No, you get on a damn plane and you go back home. It's not the big deal. He's not paying for it. I want him to be part of my wedding. I didn't want to lose that, so I thought of him when deciding to move forward. I thought of my friends flying from California and Florida, from New York and D.C. I label myself as far from selfish. Yes, I absolutely have my moments, but I'll go out of my way for others. Of course you will, because that's what nice guys do. Your friends, your good friends, will understand, okay? And if they don't, the hell with them. You'll make new friends. The right people will always understand, okay? This was an instance I needed to be selfish. I put the well-being of others in front of my own, when in this instance I need to look out for myself. You're not looking out for yourself. What are you talking about? Under fear of judgment, he says, what would I say to everyone? How would I explain it? Could I even explain it? Could I just send a blanket email? Hey, thanks for making plans to come to my wedding. It's postponed. Hopefully you get to keep your gift receipt. But here's the thing. He's talking about obviously holding off the wedding for 6 months to do whatever he has to do with his fiancee. He shouldn't be getting together with her anyway. It's a huge mistake. I noticed yesterday that as of yesterday, 7% of my followers on here are women, interestingly enough. It's crazy, but that's how it is. Okay, so thank you all for following me. So any women on here can explain some of this. Actually think that it's going to work out with this guy and her? Come on here. Anyhow, people struggle with mailing back an RSVP in the 4-month time allotment. What would be the chance of the opening, reading, and processing an email? I had told few people about what went on. I didn't tell my family. My father had died less than a year earlier, and I didn't need to set that at the foot of my mom. That sucks about his dad, but at the end of the day, this is his life. And now he's going to get just hammered later on in the divorce. But some people, they got to learn the hard way. I only told the guys at my wedding party. My eventual wife apologized to them for what happened. They all said the same thing. As long as I was happy, it was water under the bridge. There is no way that all his guy friends were thinking that. They're thinking, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Unless they're all a bunch of brainwashed nice guys as well. But as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. So it's likely that they're all the same way. And their girlfriends or fiancés or wives have done some of the same bullshit that she's done. I know I'm being pessimistic here, but I've lived long enough to see these things, guys. Is this how they really felt? Or did they know I was making a mistake? Aha. All water under the bridge now. Truth be told, I was terrified of having conversations with my family about what was going on. If everything was to work out, I didn't want them to hate my wife. And if I didn't want to talk to my family about it, how would I talk with 100 people who made plans to attend? People would talk, they'd gossip, and twist falses into truths. The twigs of broken realities would become the nest of their ideas, and it would be something I'd have to deal with for years, if not for the rest of my life. Apparently, marrying someone who cheated on me sounded like a better alternative than facing that reality. It's an idiotic decision. He says, I still loved her. Love doesn't instantly jettison out of your life, even when the worst thing imaginable happens. It's not a switch. There's no back door to the mind you can kick the emotion out. Well, I agree with that. You can't just have, let's just say you have a guy who's truly in love with a gal, and she does something like this. And obviously he feels like he's been kicked in the stomach by Bruce Lee. that pain, even though he's feeling that pain and probably, thinking every horrible thing imaginable, rightfully so, of course, those feelings are still there. They're not going to go away for most guys, okay? But still, you got to look at the bigger picture. That's why having good, trustworthy friends, and male friends, I might add, and male family members to say basically, look, dude, I know you're emotional and hurt and all that, but staying with someone like this is a huge mistake. And you got to trust that. He says, love remains. It's only tainted a perfect recipe with a wrong ingredient. The problem is, once that wrong ingredient is added, you can't get it out. You either have to stomach it or toss it out. A few years back, I was visiting my mom. She had chili simmering on the stove and a freshly baked batch of cornbread cooling. She told me to have a piece. I cut off the corner and eagerly plopped it into my mouth. It tasted off. The cornbread tastes different, Mom. You used a different recipe? Oh, I ran out of milk, so I used Jack Daniels instead. In love, you can't replace the ingredients unless you want something off. I absolutely still loved her. I think that's what hurt the most. That I did love her so much, but now something new had been added. Something I could never remove from my mind. God, I wish I could have. I would have made things so much easier. But in my brain, the idea of love and my fiancé were one and the same. You couldn't separate one from the other without killing both. So, ultimately, I married a woman that had cheated on me a week before our wedding because I absolutely still did love her. This poor dumb bastard. Oh, what he's going to go through, it's going to get worse. She's not in love with him. She's settling. Guaranteed. I'm willing to bet all the money I have in my bank account and my investment accounts right now. I guarantee you she's not in love with him, and that eventually she's going to cheat on him and be the one to end the marriage. Based on what I've seen, the odds are that high. For better or for worse, I often have people ask me if I could how I still could have married her, how I could have gone through all with it all. These are some of the reasons why. Not sure if they're good reasons, but they're my reasons. We all have them. The best we can do is learn from them. I sure have, I hope. Well, I've made it clear my views and my opinions on this guy and his decision. I wish him the best because he's a brother. I mean, he's a bonehead, but he's a brother, and I wish him the best. But the odds are it's not going to end well. The odds are, in a very short period of time, she's going to turn into the stereotypical bitchy wife if she isn't already. And there's going to be a lot of turmoil, a lot of drama, and he'll continue to be the Mr. Nice Guy, a pleaser, because that's what nice guys do, and putting everything, all her wants and needs, before his own. And that'll make her lose even more respect for him, because she's already lost a ton of respect for him for this. And eventually she's going to cheat on him. That's usually how this goes. Or eventually she's going to treat him like crap and then divorce him. And depending also what state they live in, because things are a little different depending on the states here in the United States, he's going to get hammered. And so if he thought he was going to potentially lose a lot of money on canceling the wedding, that's not even a drop in the bucket of what he's going to lose potentially down the road when this marriage ends, because she's not going to have any respect for him. She's not in love with him. So guys, the lesson of this story is, don't be like this guy, okay? If God forbid this ever happens to you, you'll walk away. Because the saying is, once a cheater, always a cheater. And you got to understand this, guys. I can't make that any more clear because I've gone through these stories so many times, but this will happen again, okay? And she's not going to respect this guy, and a woman won't respect you if she cheats on you, and you keep her in the relationship and keep on going, okay? You got to end it. Even though you think you're still in love with her, even though it hurts and all that, guess what? Life goes on. You'll get something better. Work on yourself, self-improvement. And then later on down the road, if you're open to dating and relationships after the whole cheating thing, that's your choice, but at least you'll be the wiser, okay? Your bullshit detector will be finely tuned. You'll be able to see the red flags, and you won't tolerate any shit, okay? But again, this is why I do this video, guys, to help you guys out, to make sure you don't... This story here can help just one of you guys that's watching this. I don't care where you are, in the United States, Great Britain, India, Australia, Japan. Helps one of you guys? Good. It's worth me doing this. So, anyhow, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.